Hello friends, welcome to our next class. This class is on plant breeding. Today we shall continue what we learned in the last class, that is we have learned about domestication of the plants. Now we shall continue with it. The today's topic is patterns of evolution in crop plants. This mainly deals with the variations or variabilities that are responsible for the evolution of plant or the process of the domestication what happened. It has been evolved since those times, and the variations that is responsible are learnt here. Three major ways in which the variability has arisen in the crop species. There are very three important stages, that is Mendelian variation, interspecific hybridization and polyploidy. They are very responsible for the evolution of the plants. The origin of variation. See, to occur something or to change some things, the variation is very much required. There should be a change. So these variations are very responsible for the change or for the evolution. That's why we said origin of this variation was crucial for the evolution of the plant species. Let's see one by one. Mendelian variation. Let's begin with a Mendelian variation. It is involved in the two steps, that is the one is gene mutations and the hybridization, intraspecific hybridization. Within those species itself, the hybridization followed by the recombination. In the Mendelian variation, we come across gene mutations and the hybridization. Hybridization is followed by the recombinations, brings the variability in the plant species, and many plants have been evolved through this process. Okay friends, now let's continue the topic. Every plant species will undergo genetic mutation in certain stage. Sometimes these genetic mutations are very beneficial and will be adopted. If it is very beneficial, it will keep on adapting in its population and continue to its progeny. But most of the mutations are harmful, and eventually such mutations and such species will be eliminated from the population. This is what happens. But those beneficial we get will be the reason for the evolution of these what we are seeing now. Okay, now let's see the macro mutation. Among the genetic mutation, there comes the two types of mutation, macro mutation and micro mutation. This is a macro mutation. This shows a large amount of phenotypic effects, large distinct phenotypic effect. Often affects several character of the plant. It just alters the character of the plant itself. See, in wild condition, the maize what we see now were not as before. They were a grassy popcorn, and the position of the inflorescence were not different in the grassy popcorn. Now it has been differentiated. We see the tassel in the above part in the apex and copse below. That's what is a result of a macro mutation that has occurred during the evolution of the grassy popcorn to modern maize. This is the importance of the macro mutation. It produces the large phenotypic effect which can easily be identified. Okay friends, now let's continue. Micromutation. We have seen the macromutation. Now let's speak about micromutations. These mutations doesn't have a large distinct effect. They are very small, less drastic effect. The effects of these are not drastic or does not cause any much harmful conditions. They're very little, but they will be more effective when they start accumulating in the population. They keep on accumulating from a generation to generation in a population. Then at certain point of time, these can bring up big changes. That's what happens in the micromutation. But at the point of mutations, it is very small and less drastic effect. Next comes the interspecific hybridization. We have completed the Mendelian variation. Now let's see the next variation, that is the interspecific hybridization. See, a plant has a certain genus and a species name. Within a species, you can cross with them, and most of all you will get a successful progeny, and it will be of some useful character. But these interspecific one will not succeed in every condition, but in some condition they will succeed. Interspecific hybridization means crossing of two different species of the plant. In this, what happens, the F1 progeny that is produced will be more vigorous in a certain successful crosses, and this F1 will be vigorous, and sometimes this vigorous or this character of vigorous character will be lost through next generations. But in most of these cases, this does not produce a valid fruit set. Sterile, they are mostly sterile, they are highly sterile. They usually don't produce a valid F2 generations, and they do not set seeds itself. That's what see in a hybrid plants what we get. Those hybrid plant can't be used for the next generation. This is the reason they have done the interspecific hybridization, and in this condition they do not produce valid seeds, or they will be sterile in conditions. That is the importance of this interspecific. Okay friends, now let's speak about the introgressive hybridization. See, introgressive hybridization means this is the progeny of the interspecific hybridization. That is, after crossing two different species, you will get a progeny which might be vigorous and have some character that you require. Then if you want to insert these character into the cultivated one, then you have to backcross this species, continuously backcross till it comes under the homozygous condition, and you take this character which is required for you. That's what introgressive hybridization means. That is, the introgressive hybrid, that is, the interspecific hybridized plant is continuously backcrossed for a certain character to derive, is known as the introgressive hybridization. This introgressive hybridization helps us to derive or extract some genes that is required for us. Let's see some examples. Modern maize has postulated to be developed from the wild grass Stripsacum. They have postulated that from the wild grass Stripsacum, the modern maize has been derived by this introgressive hybridization. By involving the methods of introgressive hybridization, this has been derived or evolved into a modern maize. This is one of the postulate. And the strawberry varieties, the cross between the Fragaria virginia and Fragaria chiloensis, the progeny of this was backcrossed to two plant species to involve certain character. Next comes the polyploidy condition. This is also one of the important character that is responsible for the variations. Generally if we speak, the autopolyploidy or autopolyploids leads to increased vigor, larger fruits and flowers over the diploid form. See, in a plant species, there is a diploid and a tetraploid or triploid form. In such condition, the polyploids are more vigorous than the diploid form. That's what he has said. But this actually is in reverse in case of the coffee. In coffee, the diploids are more has a larger fruit, larger leaves and all, and the polyploid is smaller than those. Let's see a few examples. Commercial banana, Musa paradisica, apple Pyrus malus, watermelon Citella vulgaris, Solanum tuberosum. These are the important examples for the polyploid condition. There are many still polyploids, but these are just have been mentioned here. And among these are autotriploids and this is autotetraploid. This is autotriploid and it is autotetraploid. Now we have seen the autopolyploids. Usually friends, the autopolyploids contribution to the crop evolution is very less. Actually, the more contribution is from the allopolyploids. Allopolyploids plays a major role in the crop evolution, and these allopolyploids result from a chromosome doubling of the interspecific F1 hybrid. See, if there is an interspecific hybridization, the progeny, the F1 progeny, in its chromosomal stage, it undergoes a chromosomal doubling that leads to this allopolyploid condition, and that plays a major role in many crop plants. And among the polyploidy, this is the one that plays a role in the crop evolutions. And the best example for this is Nicotiana tabacum. It has been derived from the chromosomal doubling of this interspecific hybridization, that is Nicotiana sylvestris and Nicotiana tomentosa. And thus friends, I end this video, and thanks for watching. Please do follow me on my Instagram account, Time to Be Intellectual, Facebook, Time to Be Intellectual. Please do subscribe to my channel, and please click on the bell icon to get notified. Thank you.